Oh, well, here we are today with November 27th, 1996, the Phish show that took place at the Key Arena in Seattle, Washington. A little bit of a Jimi Hendrix show, slightly. If the last show, the previous show we recapped here on the channel, was certainly the Zeppelin show. This one, okay, you had two Hendrix songs. It was in Seattle. I don't even know how I feel about Seattle claiming Hendrix, really. I mean, I feel like he was not accepted necessarily or loved here. Not that he wasn't accepted, but he didn't really blow up here in America. He had to go over and be a part of the British invasion and then come back. Am I wrong? I mean, am I revising history here, or are the folks in Seattle revising history? Certainly wasn't in Seattle where he blew up. I know that much. That much I know. That much I know. Well, another thing I know is they did not play any Casbah songs this show. This was 1996, and they did open with a Julius, which really, for me, was the low point of the first set, although it seemed like a decent Julius. And more, I do like that line in Julius, your past and your future precisely divided. And then the song loses me again right after that. But I must say, do we got another rogue hair here today? Make sure we ain't got any rogue hairs here. Thought we might have had one. I thought I saw something there. All right. Let's get going here. Let's get beyond this Julius. And then a strong trio right after that. A lot of times they'll open with a strong trio. They probably thought, look, we got the four horsemen here. So following the Julius, my friend Yamar and Chalk Dust, I was really had big high hopes for the Yamar and my friend and Chalk Dust as well. Chalk Dust probably stole the thunder from the three, while my friend, always going to be cool. It's probably one of my top 10 to 15 favorite songs ever by them. So anytime there's a my friend, although now we get this whole different version of my friend. This was a 90s my friend, and the Chalk Dust pretty much did the rocking here. Yamar maybe like backed off a little bit, more of a chill Yamar. Early in the show, as always, no matter where they're playing, indoor, outdoor, east, west, north, south. Then get Sloth and Uncle Pen right there in the middle of the first set, snuck in. Things pick back up again for a free. Now look, for a 1996 free, I feel like probably the effects were a little bit less aggressive, not quite as loud. You know, a lot of times it just sounded like a ship was about to take off in these mid-90s free. Not quite the case here, you know, and this is a good time to say what an outstanding mix. You know, you get more accustomed to listening to the modern stuff while they are solid soundboards. Like recently listened to a show from 2010, 2011, and they just don't compare to the mix from an official live Phish release from 1996. And this one was an official release, one of many from this wing of the tour, really. Quite a few shows there in that November, December. Well, post Talking Heads, Halloween, not a surprise. And another thing in the notes was that they had 2 days off before this show, which they spent quite a bit of time in a studio, giving them some practice time, probably explaining why this show was so particularly hot, and the shows after. I think we got another one in early December. That was an official release. So, you know, then we got a very strong theme from the bottom early in its lifetime. And then a Jimi Hendrix Bold as Love, a great Bold as Love. Trey, you know, really showing off here in this first set. Trying to channel maybe his inner Jimmy. Got a little blues in the second set. The Down with Disease jam, probably not my favorite, but maybe the biggest of the night. Maybe your favorite if you've heard this show. It was damn good. You know, it stayed mostly Disease for quite a while. Really, you know, driving hard, too. You know, nice tempo, kind of rocking. Somewhere in the middle, you know, not that they were teasing Jesus Left Chicago yet. We didn't know we were quite headed there. But it did have a little bit of a bluesy feel into the jam, along with a bit of a hard jam. Kind of maybe a little nod to Jimmy there with some hard blues. We get an excellent Jesus Left Chicago into a wild Son of a Mule. Page going a little extra off in Mule. Fishman jumping in on the vacuum for some reason on Son of a Mule. And then also getting a strong, proper finish. A lot of crowd participation in the Mule. And then Mike Gordon, if nothing else, you got to listen to the Tweezer with headphones on or just very loud in your car. Either way. And like, you know, with the Sweet Emotion here, depending if you're looking at .net or the Live Phish app, it may or may not include the Sweet Emotion, but boy, it felt like certainly more than a tease in the Tweezer jam, getting back into Down with Disease. Well, if it wasn't for that excellent Jesus Left Chicago and Mule, this would have been certainly the Diseaser set. I really like this Tweezer, Sweet Emotion, Down with Disease segment more than I like the initial just the big monster Down with Disease that opened the set. Between Mike's bass and the Tweezer, hearing Mike hanging on to Sweet Emotion deep as they were moving back into Down with Disease, Just all really good stuff there. And they had done some mashing up in the set list, or the sound check. I didn't write down what that was, but it was listed there on .net. Wally P, channel member Wally P, who requested this, he may recall. I don't know, did you by any chance catch that sound check? That looked interesting to me. Did a little mashing up of some songs that I would like to hear. Not that it was going to have been great or groundbreaking or anything. But then maybe they didn't go full mash up on the Tweezer Sweet Emotion Down with Disease, and more like they just ended up playing Sweet Emotion. They didn't have the courage on stage. And then we get back into, a Star Spangled Banner, which I read in the notes. They were going to be performing at a game coming up. Maybe a Sonics game. I don't even recall. Lakers. I don't recall where they were doing the Star Spangled Banner. You could watch it on television, they said. So then ending set 2 with another Jimi Hendrix song. This time it was Fire. Said someone commented in the notes that Trey broke a string during Fire, and then I believe he used his backup guitar for the encore, I believe. Waste and Tweezer Reprise was that. All right, guys. Boom. We are out of here. Blondie, I believe he had to call upon after the broken string incident of Fire. All right. Well, look, we had some makeshift whiteboard. You know, if you look, what's that look like from back there? Does that say anything to you when you can only see the red? We got drones over Dayton, dude. Over Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, not far from the Nutter Center. Long been rumored that the aliens from Roswell were taken to Wright-Pat. Now these drones have taken a different turn. My, how the turns have tabled. Boom, we are out of here. Wally P, thank you for yet another good request, man. I don't want to act like Wally P's my favorite member or anything, because we all know Spud and Mrs. Spud are my favorite members. But Wally P, man, another great request. Nice job. A grizzled vet, as they call them. Not jaded, grizzled. All right, boom, we're out of here. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. I'm F Zappa 20. Good night. Later.